Alright, I'm halfway there. Happy 4th of July. Just thought I'd show you how I built my system before I finish it. I'm using 2 IBC tanks and a 60-gallon water barrel. And if you're familiar with an IBC tank, you'll know that there are 2 bars that actually hold the tank, or the bottle, inside the cage. You'll remove those 2 bars using a special bit. I don't know what it's called, but it's a 6-sided star type of little bit. Fortunately, I had one, so I didn't have to buy it. I took those bars off, and they would be mounted up high at the very top of the cage. And I went down 1 bar length and drilled holes into the cage and put those bars back as supports for the top of the tank, which would be my grow bed. Let me backtrack a little bit. When I took those bars out, I removed the bottle. I measured 13 inches from the top of the bottle, drilled a hole, and then used a jigsaw to cut all the way around so that my grow bed is actually 13 inches deep. You want at least anywhere between 10 to 12 inches of grow bed. Okay, these 2 little bars aren't going to be enough to support your media and the water. Okay, so Amazon, I bought these straps. They hold 600 pounds each, and I use 2 per tank and use them as a support. Okay, this is my solid lifts overflow. Okay, what this is going to do is lift all the fish waste from the bottom of the tank. If you know anything about IBC systems, if you looked at any of the videos online, you'll know how this works. Okay, this is just going to suck all the fish waste from the bottom of the tank and draw it into my swirl filter / biofilter. And I'll go into detail about that in just a minute. Okay, I added this little portion onto the top of my solid lifts overflow so that once the water reaches a certain height, there'll be a vacuum created that will actually skim the top of the water. Your fish feed, if it's high in protein, will create a sort of an oil slick on the top of the water. This will pull that oil slick off and into your filter. If you've watched my other videos on filtration, you'll see this is my submersible fish tank filter. Sorry about that. Hope you're not getting dizzy from all the shaking. But, sorry, this is difficult to do with one hand. I filled it halfway with lava rock and the other half with polyfill or fiberfill or pillow stuffing. Okay, this is only temporary. I'm just using this polyfill so that I can separate all the sediment out of my system. When you first fill your system, all this lava rock or whatever media you're using, there's going to be a lot of dust that's going to wash off into the water, and you're going to want to filter that out. You don't want it to just settle into your grow beds. You don't want particles in your grow bed. The only thing you want in your grow bed are your plants and your grow media. Otherwise it will clog. You'll get anaerobic zones that your worms won't grow into and your plant roots won't go into because there's no oxygen there. Okay? So once the water is lifted out of my fish tank, it will go into my swirl filter. Okay. So the water will come in, swirl around the tank, all the heavy solids will fall to the bottom, and the water will drain out into my sump. Okay. I have my water pump in there, and there's another, got another one of these filters inside. Okay. These filters I will not turn off. They will run 24/7. My main water pump I will turn off at night so that the water doesn't stagnate. I have those submersible pumps. Okay, so during the day when the water is flowing through the system, this will act as a swirl filter. But at night when I turn the water off, I'll have an air pump. I'll run an air line through this little fixture here. I run an air line in down to an air stone, which will sit at the bottom, and it will bubble, and it will mineralize those solids and help break down any additional bacteria and food for the system. Okay. Once those solids are mineralized in the morning, the timer will turn the air line off, will turn the air pump off, the water pump will come back on, and the water will flow into the sump, and the process starts all over again. It gets pumped out of the sump into the grow beds, and that's it. I'm using bell siphons, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Okay, if you've watched any other videos on aquaponics, like I said, I'm not going to go into all the detail of all of these different things because I'm sure you're familiar with them. If you're not, I don't want to make a 20 or 30 or 40 minute video describing all of this. I just wanted to show you how I built my system so that you can get some ideas about how to build your system better than I built mine. If you can, that's the challenge. Okay, since my system is outside, I'm double insulating my system. Okay, I remove the bottle and I put this double-sided insulation or radiant barrier on the bottom as well as on the inside of the cage. On the outside, I'm using this 90% sunshade. Okay, this will not only insulate the tank, but it'll also help keep critters out. Where I live, we have possums, raccoons, squirrels. In some areas, we have mountain lions, deer. So I just wanted to try to insulate my tank as much as possible to keep the critters out. And on a side note, when you're first starting your system out, the things that you want to plant are things like red peppers, onions, garlic chives, marigolds. Pests don't like those. So once you get those things established in your grow beds, then you can plant your other fruiting vegetables, whether it's going to be tomatoes or cucumbers or whatever it is that you want to grow. That's it. I hope this is